Hi, I'm Senator Hicks. I'm a candidate for U.S. Congress in the 12th Congressional District. I'm here with my old friend Bob McIlvaine. He is a member of the 9/11 victims' families. He lost his son here 16 years ago. And Bob McIlvaine has used his personal pain and suffering to become a peace activist and a truth activist. And Bob, you've done some great contributions to the movement for transparency and for a new investigation. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh, hey, I have an obligation to do it. That's, I don't understand why more people aren't doing it, but the way I look at it is Bobby was murdered. And I went to all the 9/11 Commission hearings and got nothing out of it. The problem of 9/11, you just couldn't believe that there was something wrong with the whole thing. That's why I became a war activist, anti-war activist, a war activist.
War activist. I know what you mean.
An anti-war activist, because no matter what happened, you're in the first couple of years, you're still in shock. And, I just felt, well, there's still no reason to go to war the way that we were going to war. I went to the 9/11 Commission hearings, and it was just a stonewall. And, that's when I just became active in 9/11 Truth, because try to finding peace, it didn't do it for me. Because my son was murdered, and I'm getting nothing out of this.
And I'm sure you were shocked to read in the 9/11 Commission report that they said that the financing of the attacks is important. Ultimately, we concluded it was of little practical significance. That was shocking to me. So now this year, a lot has changed. We've seen some information come out in the 28 pages about the financing of the attacks. What was your personal reaction when you read the 28 pages?
I really don't have a reaction to it. I'm happy because it's still being talked about. But again, Saudi Arabia was just another, patsy we're using. I don't care who is financing it. It's the bigger picture. We should talk about the United States. We should talk about Great Britain. We should talk about the bankers. We should talk about money, the military-industrial complex. It's the system that created 9/11. It's a system that did 9/11. So putting the attention on Saudi Arabia really doesn't mean anything to me.
If you were in charge of a new independent investigation, who would you subpoena first?
Who would I subpoena first? Henry Kissinger. He was supposed to be running the 9/11 Commission. That's the reason, because he is the main man. And of course, he's just a small cog in the deep state. Right. But I would say it's all about money.
Okay, so Bob, we agree about the deep state, but what can we do?
Well, it has to be a revolution, but obviously not a violent revolution. Amen. Bring back Martin Luther King, that we need millions of people in the street. Uh-huh. And it has to be against the war machine. Right. And we need a strong leader, like a Martin Luther King.
I'll do it.
Okay, well, I'll be behind you.
Bob, it's so great that you were able to meet with me here today at Building 7, at Ground Zero. I think you've done everything a man could possibly do to honor the memory of his son. The example that you've shown the world to not give in to despair, to not give in to grief, but to have hope and change and create nonviolent revolution in this country. That's a beautiful vision. And so here today on the 16-year anniversary of 9/11, I just want to say thank you.
Hey, Sander, thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
I love talking to you.